Okay, for this assignment, I'm calling it a morph drawing. And really it's about combining two different objects but creating a new reality from those. I was inspired by this assignment by a photographer, Jerry Yulesman, who was a surrealist photographer, and he would, using the darkroom, combine different images. So here you can see this organic tree trunk is morphing into, it looks like an abandoned house. Um, right? So one man-made thing is morphing into something, you know, earthly. That's a great interpretation of this. Now, not every single one of Jerry's photographs are like this, so I just chose the few that did inspire me, this assignment. Here we have another one where you can see it's a photograph of a tree trunk kind of breaking through the bricks. This almost looks like some of our downtown trees. And then it turns into some hands that are holding a bird's nest, right? So, and the thing that he does really well with this, because he's working with black and white and he works with film, still does, he's able to match the tones. And that's really something you got to think about when you're doing this. You can use any medium you want, but think about the transition area, which would be, this kind of area. Make sure that it seems very seamless. And then this next one, where the woman's chest and skin tone is morphing into this waterfall, along this mountain. Again, they're totally unrelated, right? They don't really make sense, and that's a great way to interpret this assignment. So you don't really have a sketchbook assignment. This just some thumbnails. Sorry, stuttering. For this project, like how are you going to interpret this? And I just found some random drawings that I think are great ideas. And then what you will do is, turn it into a final piece. So you can think about man-made objects such as clocks, houses, buildings, lamps, books, cups, anything you can think of. And then think of something natural. So it could be the human body, it could be trees, it could be rivers, anything like that. And then see how you can kind of put those two things together. I think the most interesting ones are when there's a juxtaposition between them. So they don't necessarily go together. And juxtaposition is one of those college words, where it's just about putting two different ideas or two different things that oppose each other into a new way. And so here you can again see it's a female body with these buildings, these houses. And again, you can use any medium. It can be mixed medium, whatever. It could be all drawing like this one. It kind of morphs. The tree trunk morphs into a hand that morphs into some branches. Beautiful. And this is a tree that has morphed into a person. Again, very interesting interpretation. So you can see how basically this one in the image before is kind of got the same idea, but they're interpreted so many different ways. So don't be afraid to kind of look through Pinterest, look through images online, and interpret it in your own way, though. Don't copy anything. I feel like we're, using too much inspiration from things we already see, which is not a bad thing, but certainly try to make it your own, okay? I think this one is kind of interesting. And this kind of goes along with our previous assignment, which is the image within an image, but now you don't have to have those things directly connected. One can just grow out of the other. This one's kind of weird, but and it's not really a morph, but it's interesting, right? This one definitely, the brain is the machine, right? And how it works. It's another one. And just do the best you can. I'm not um, worried about how real something looks. You can trace, you can do anything you want to help you. Just do to me, it's about the idea, how creative is your idea. And the execution, while it's important, I want it to be neat and completed. If your body doesn't look like a real body, I mean, who cares, right? Just do what you can. And you can see in there's a wide variety of approaches. Think about animals. Animals is a really fun one to do. So the scales of the fish here turn into corn. And so that's just the transition or the similarity between the shape, the size, really. Yeah, so I mean, there's so many different, very interesting ways. And this is all pencil. So like I said before, I've kind of dictated your materials. Here you have more freedom. Just make sure it's big and it fits on the Bristol. Don't, have a little floater. Make them big. I'm not really sure what the relationship is here, but I just, whatever. It looks kind of cool. Go with it. Again, here, the frogs don't necessarily have anything to do with bridging the cities. We don't even know exactly what cities we're looking at here, but kind of looks like maybe Brooklyn and New York. I mean, yeah, New York City and Brooklyn Bridge. But it's just the randomness. It's the surreal aspect of this that I think is really quite fun. Very interesting. This is color pencil. It's got some color in the turtle, which is fine. Very detailed and very expertly drawn. So yeah, very cool. This one, this is something I pulled out of Pinterest. And I can't remember where I got all these images, so they may be Pinterest, it could be online. But how clever is this? Very cute. And this woman's, Victorian dress turns into an umbrella, right? She's holding a parasol, but she is the parasol. Yeah. So just try to be as creative as possible. One thing has to morph into the other. They have to be connected, literally connected. One thing changing. It's surreal, so it doesn't have to make sense, right? It can come from a dream. It can be dreamlike. Just make sure there's a distinction between they're not the same. A tree morphing into a flower is not the most interesting thing, right? But a tree morphing into a car, or a car morphing into a tree, or humans' legs morphing into a tree, something like that. Although the human legs into a tree has been done a bunch, but see what you can come up with. Okay. Again, this is going to be due on the last Tuesday, which is May 12th by midnight. And your sketchbook assignment is due with them, just some thumbnails. All right. Good luck.